We're starting with layers today. Painting, pastel, scraping back, and adding on again. It's all about creating texture and letting harmonious colors guide the emotion of the piece. Today we're going to just step out of our regular comfort zone and try something non-representational, because working in an abstract way can allow us so much freedom in so many ways. Without the stress of trying to create a thing, a person, or something recognizable, we're free to explore color, shape, value with no other care. We can completely let go of the fear of worrying about rendering or creating something that looks like a thing. So instead, we're creating a feeling, an emotion, marks, shapes, colors, and how they relate and flow. So today we're just starting with a really big piece of watercolor paper, and we're sectioning it off with painter's tape. I use the really delicate kind of delicate surface painter's tape, and I sectioned it off into 6 pieces. And then I have some really big paintbrushes today, 1-inch paintbrushes. This little one I'm holding up right now is just like one I use for texture. It's really beat up and it's all frayed. Then I have my scrapers, a metal scraper, and 2 like squeegee ones that I sometimes use for collage. Those are just for texture. This is a potter's pin tool that I have. I have some of my catalyst blades. Those are also for texturing. And if you don't have those, that's fine. Just grab something, an old credit card or something you can cut up into notches maybe if you want to make textures, or even a piece of heavy cardboard. Then I have my oil pastels, and I'm probably going to be drawing on top of the painting and creating marks with the oil pastels. They're a really good complement and for a mixed media acrylic painting. Then I'm going to be using green and yellow, and I did bring out some blue, but I think I went to oil pastel for that blue. Then I have a pop of complementary colors, so I'm using cadmium red. I've got titanium white, titanium buff, and I'm going to be creating a dark neutral color using black, gray, and burnt umber. Stick around to the end of the video. I'll be sharing how I choose my Harmonious color palettes. As usual, I'm using that medium on my palette to mix, blend, and create glazes while painting. In this first layer and in these early layers, there is really no way to do this the wrong way. Actually, that's what I love so much about creating abstracts. Here I'm just putting down a bunch of very organic marks, but you can make any shapes that you're called to make. So this is where your own visual mark making and language comes into play. So don't worry about perfection. Every mark adds to the composition and tells part of the story. Even though we're working in a non-representational way, if you've been painting a while, you'll be surprised to see how much of your own unique voice comes through even in abstract works. Your marks and way of putting down the paint is still very unique to you, so your voice still will come through. First, I blow dry the underlayer. This is extremely important when we're working with complementary colors like we are here, because otherwise our paint colors can become muddy. If we were to put wet red and wet green together, we would end up with muddy surface colors. So because we want them to vibrate against each other and look dynamic together, we don't want them to mix when they're wet, so it's very important to blow dry between layers. These early layers are about finding a rhythm. I'm going over these with a squeegee a little bit just to kind of blend the paint, to pull some of the paint off, to layer the paint. This is part of my process. You do not have to do this, but if you feel that you want to, sometimes when I go over it with the side and use my little pin tool, you could even use the back of a brush. It pulls back some of the paint and you can see the underlayer. Now I'm creating a very neutral color using buff titanium, which is a light beige, and titanium white. And I'm going to do a process called veiling. And we use veiling a lot in art to push back layers. Now I've created a very thin glaze using a lot of matte medium in with that color, and I'm going to push back those very intense layers. This is part of the process of creating this kind of a painting, is that you don't want to cover the whole thing, but you're going to push some of those really vibrant layers back. It's just part of what we do. Some of those colors are still going to come to the forefront. We're still going to see some of the intense chroma, but a lot of it's going to get pushed back. And it creates a layered effect. Each layer we add builds upon the last, and think of it as uncovering the painting slowly, one step at a time. Here I mixed up a little more green. I made it a little stronger. So I made it a little more intense. I made it a little darker. And now I'm just creating shapes with that green. I can still see my underlayers. So in a lot of cases, I'm responding to the movement I see in the underlayers. And I'm just kind of playing with form and the energy that I see in those early layers. This part of it is where the fun really starts to happen. We're playing with the layers, we're playing with the color and the texture and seeing what naturally emerges. So I created a very dark value using black, burnt umber, and a little bit of gray, because using straight black would have really flattened this piece out. So I made a very dark neutral color that wouldn't flatten my whole painting out. And I'm creating some very dark shapes of a dark value in this piece. And I'm creating shapes on the piece to respond to the rest of the forms I have happening on here. Now I'm drawing through with my scrapers. I'm pulling some of the color out, and I'm just creating some rhythm with these dark forms. I love how scraping back gives you little surprises and little shapes emerge. Everything just seems to happen almost on its own when you start to scrape out. As you do this kind of an exercise, I really want you to take note of how you approach each layer and how you develop this, because it's really significant in your development as an artist to see how you resolve the visual problems while you're creating, how you address the shapes and the composition as it evolves. Pay attention to your line, your color choices, and how you use the space on the page, because these are your artistic signature. And when you become more aware of your choices, you begin to trust yourself more. Observe how you naturally resolve visual problems. Notice how you simplify shapes. And when you do that and start to trust your instincts, you'll become more confident in your choices and start believing in yourself. Trust your inner guidance and allow that to lead you when creating. Let it guide your choices, your shapes, your composition, and find joy in the process of making. You get to say when it's finished. I really want you to enjoy this process because it's completely intuitive with no rules or boundaries. After finishing my mark making, I put a full coat of matte medium over the top and blue dry the surface before proceeding any farther. So I really should have left this 24 hours, and I did not, because I was so excited and I wanted I wanted to take the tape off, but I tore a little bit of the paper. But I was very excited and I wanted to see my little paintings. So just leave it longer than I did. Even though I used the delicate surface tape, which is it's the only kind of tape I use. So, but it was fine. I just touched up little areas here and there, but it was not a big deal. This still really excites me because you end up with 6 beautiful compositions that you didn't plan. And without trusting the process, you never would have gotten here. So then I cut them apart, and then you can, frame them individually. You can mount them on a board. They can be made into cards. They are so wonderful, and they're nothing you would have ever planned. The other thing that's so amazing about them is that without ever planning it, you've created a series, a very related series, without even having thought, gee, I'm going to make a series of paintings. Now you have this little series that are all related in harmonious colors. They all work together. And unless you've trusted yourself in the process of creating and thrown away the whole end, because unless you trust yourself and cut up that big painting, you never would have ended up with a series, 6 little works that are all related. You could show these, you could give them as gifts. You can frame them or put them on a board and show them that way. You have this amazing little body of work, all through just one big painting. So just like that, one painting became 6 unique mini paintings. And the best part was that you created that whole series without overthinking, enjoying every mark, and discovering beautiful little compositions along the way. Stay tuned for a quick look at how I find harmonious color palettes in a very easy and simple way. Today I'm going to just share briefly with you the interior design color wheel. In the top 5 boxes, it shows the analogous colors. Any 5 colors in a row on the color wheel are analogous. So that means they create a harmonious color palette. So I chose green, yellow, and blue. And then down below, it shows you the complementary colors and the split complementary colors for a pop of dynamic color. So when we look at all those other little colors under each main color, those are when we add black to make a shade, add gray to make a tone, add white to make a tint, and add more white to make a lighter tint. So any of these colors are options within your harmonious color palette. So every time we turn the wheel, our options change all over again. And I hope this clarifies some things for you, because this is a real game changer when we're painting. There'll be a link in the description box below to where you can purchase this, so check it out.